But joining me here now on set, Michelle Caruso-Cabrera. She is CEO of MCC Global Enterprises and a CNBC contributor, and so good to have you here.
Welcome. Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
So let's talk Venezuela and what we're seeing with these dark fleet tankers and the message it's sending.
The administration is trying to curtail all possible revenue to the Maduro government of Venezuela. They started with the drug interdiction by bombing those cigarette boats and the submarines. And Secretary Rubio, Secretary of State, on Friday said that they hadn't done any more lately because they believed that they have set a high level of deterrence and that has stopped. They're now going after the oil tankers, which Venezuela, a lot of these tankers, all of them either sanctioned, not allowed to be on the seas, and yet they've been operating for several years. And the United States has decided that they are going to do everything they can to prevent oil revenue from going to this regime as well. They want stability in the Western Hemisphere, and they think it's very hard to have stability when you have Hezbollah, China, Russia in Venezuela, participating in narco trafficking, participating in illegal oil sales, and also in human trafficking as well.
Yeah, and not to mention, to your point, the impact it has, the ripple effects it has on immigration dynamics throughout the hemisphere. National security strategy actually basically prioritized not only the homeland but the hemisphere. We haven't seen that in national security strategy in quite a while. So significant to see that this is all playing out now. What kind of message does it send to China, to Russia, as we see Ukraine peace talks underway?
So China and Russia have actually been pretty quiet on the Venezuela situation. That's been very, very interesting to see. And there were reports within the oil industry that perhaps when Trump met with Putin in Alaska, this was before he started these big moves in the Caribbean, that he hinted to Putin or told him that that's what's going to happen. Let's see. But I think your point is extremely important when it comes to migration. Venezuela, 25% of the population has left that country since 2014. 8 million people. They are the Syria of the Western Hemisphere. They've gone into all these Venezuelans have gone to many different countries in Latin America, destabilized them, and the leadership of the country has has used those people leaving as a way to send out gang members. Tren de Aragua is the big gang, and they have spread throughout the Western Hemisphere under cover of these people who have been trying to escape the very dire situation that's happening in Venezuela because of their mismanagement of the oil industry.
And speaking of the oil industry, the fact that you have oil up almost 2% today.
It could be because of Venezuela. They don't contribute a lot. They produce 800,000 to 1.2 million barrels per day. They haven't been able to export that much lately because of the Trump administration going after these tankers. So that might be what's driving the prices higher. But it's a very small amount relative to what they could be producing and the total percentage of oil in the world. I think the other reason why the Trump administration is so interested in this situation, when they want stability in the Western Hemisphere, if Venezuela could get its act together and produce more oil, all those migrants that we talked about would likely be far more willing to go home because that economy would be in far better shape. If they could go back to the 3.5 million barrels of oil that they used to produce on a daily basis and could with a more orthodox investment regime and regulatory structure and foreign investment, that could be done.